Welcome to a beautiful morning out here at the river house. It's a little blustery. A turd update. So I did check the timing. Originally I thought it was way off, but it wasn't. And I got a little better running out of it by cleaning off the ballast resistor. I have not yet checked the compression on the machine. It is not using oil, although the dipstick doesn't read properly unless the motor's been sitting for hours. But it is not using a bunch of oil. Oh, the throttle butterfly, the shaft flops around a bit, and I still could have a vacuum leaking like the brake booster. But I adjusted it up. When you first start it, when it's cold, it runs okay. Then as it gets a little warmer, the idle wraps up to 2,500 to maybe 3,000, which is a pretty brisk, fast idle when you get right down to it. If you turn it down, it'll die. And then once it warms up completely, it goes back to running fine again. So I think the next thing is, well, the compression is maybe the missing, but it's definitely not the weird up and down idle. So hunt for more vacuum leaks, and I don't know, maybe another carburetor isn't quite so floppy. But that's the update on the brown turd, because at least Dad would be interested. On the agenda today, first off, it's above freezing. In fact, I think it's in the 40s. So going right in here, we've got a few things. First, that's the wellhead, and I've probed it before, and the wellhead is only maybe 2 feet above the bedrock, so it's going to freeze. So I'm going to have to raise the wellhead, not that big a deal. And then in here, I'm going to put the propane tanks. I've been in here before, and right underneath this is a bedrock ledge. And that's bedrock right there. So I think, because it's so warm, and I know the backhoe will get started, and there's lots of things I can do upstairs when it gets ugly again. I think today I'm going to work on cleaning out this area right here to try to uncover that bedrock shelf and get an idea of exactly what we're dealing with when it comes to the propane tanks and stuff. Obviously, we've got ourselves a bit of a problem through here, because it's not going to be thick enough to keep my water lines from freezing. I mean, that bedrock is right there. It's exposed. So one of the things I was thinking about was, I don't know, building some sort of retaining wall and then backfilling. It seems optimistic to get that done before the next storm starts, but let it pack, I guess. But I think somehow right here, I need to get water. I need to get a water line from right here up to that power box. And then from that power box, water and power will share a ditch up to the top. I can't go over there because that's bedrock, so it's got to come up. There's nothing buried on this side of the power box, so it's got to come right up through here. Once I get up into that bank, I got 5, 6, 7 feet of dirt. So that's a no big deal situation. It's this spot right down here. So I think we'll spend a few moments. We'll get it cleared off and probed and find out what we're working with. Oh, I got in here with the probe, and it's not looking any better. If we come directly sideways out, then I'm standing on about 2 feet. If I go forward, well, like I said before, that's bedrock. Here's the reality of our situation. Underneath that red bucket right there is the wellhead. There's only a handful of inches, less than maybe 18 inches of dirt right around it, and then it drops off to essentially nothing. That's an exposed bit of rock right there. If I dig my water line sideways and then go up, everything in that bank, lots of room, no problem. If I dig my water line sideways, I've got about 2 feet of material before I hit the bedrock, and about the same as I go back. This must be a bedrock shelf. However, that wellhead, which is a fixed point that I cannot change, is not the only fixed point on the table. The other one is the sewer line. The sewer line runs right through here. It's already a little shallow, and it's already a little flat. I know we covered that quite a bit further back in time, so to speak. So I really don't want to go any deeper. We want to continue out flat. So what I just did is I set up this rancet, and I got a baseline up at the sewer line, and I got a baseline here at the wellhead. So right here at the wellhead, if we take this to grade, then we will have 28 inches of fill through here. 28 inches of fill, that is not enough to protect a water line. So just cleaning this off the bedrock and essentially laying the water line in a trough of sand and then building a retaining wall is not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. So I think the plan here for me, I'm going to get in here with the excavator and let's make a mess of this. This is a rock shelf. You can see where I hit it with the backhoe. That's the actual rock sticking out right there. I've had reasonably good luck breaking up the top layer. That's unfortunately rock in here about 8 inches to 10 inches down. So I think I'm going to get in here. I'm going to scratch at all of this. Let's get this raked off. I still have room. That 500-gallon propane tank would fit right here. Obviously, we have to build a retaining wall for it. The 1,000-gallon propane tank would sit right next to it. So I still got plenty of room for the things that I want to stick against this bank. I just got to get that water line deep enough. At the thought of going all the way out and around, I mean, I'd like to put a building out there, parking out there. Granted, that water line would be super deep, but I don't want to build over a water line. And also, look how much rock we've broken. I just got to go from that bucket to that sagebrush right there. That's it. We've broke way more than that. So let's get in and find out what this is. And let's just assume we're putting it in the most straight run possible. Coming straight from that wellhead, straight up, right alongside that power box. Then we can come out of that power box into that ditch, up the hill to the house. And we've already got that stuff laid. But, oh, and I have an electrical permit taken out. So whatever we do has got to match their requirements. Well, before we can run the excavator, I need some fuel in it. So rather than drive it all the way down here, I'll just haul some cans up. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity to burn some of this crappy gasoline, which in many ways is exactly what I bought the brown turd here to do. But I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah. That's what's in 1 quart. So, until I retrofit a filter to that line, there's clearly no way I can fill this truck. So, swing and a miss. Well, this is what we're dealing with. Isn't it cool? This bit of rock has not been exposed since the last ice age. Since glacial Lake Missoula broke, went carrying down this valley, out through Spokane, created the great flats of eastern Washington, and helped carve out the Columbia River all the way to the sea. That was the last time this saw the daylight. And you can see how worn and smooth it is. It had a layer of hard pan and sand attached to it, the same depth all the way across. So it has not been exposed like the rest of it. And unfortunately, the water line needs to go right through here. Right through there. So I need to go into that pile. Well now, this is something we know how to do, don't we? I told my wife I'd just drill and blast it when she called earlier, and she expressed some concerns about blasting that near the wellhead. I don't know what it'll do. Maybe we adjust the circumstances. Maybe we take the rock saw and put us a cut, and then we pop in the middle of it. And see if I can break big chunks of this out. We know it's in layers. We can see the layers on the big tunnel slab over there. So we know it's in layers. It also, unfortunately, is crazy hard. And if you've been following us from the beginning, when I was trying to drill and break that rock, which is now under the front entryway, how it was like it was both really hard but also somewhat elastic. Just pop, 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 pop. I could break it into gravel, but I couldn't get it out of the hole. Well, when I leaned on it with the excavator, I couldn't even scratch it. I've just cleaned this off with the excavator, and there ain't a mark on it. So, yeah, I think my original confident idea that I can break up the first 2 feet, I think Glacial Lake Missoula did that. And I think this is going to be a bit of a battle. Wonder who I could call about blasting that near a wellhead. Wonder what it would do. I guess we could crack it. You can see the bentonite sand seal. By the time I'm done, I'm definitely gonna have to replace that. I don't know how long. I get the well log somewhere. I can find out how deep the casing goes. I mean, if the casing goes down in there 20 feet, I mean, this is solid bedrock. You could crack the casing. But what harm would it be? There isn't casing when they drill hard rock, so I better look at the well logs. Alright, I'm gonna clean off a little bit more. I was gonna pick it all up with the backhoe, but in true Riverhouse fashion, it won't start. So, I might have to get a battery for it. It's only 30 feet. It's only 30 feet. It's only 30 feet. It's only 30 feet. It's only 30. I think we're at the point now where I've exposed enough rock to know exactly what I need to do. Coincidentally, we've got this hump right here. These all appear to be horizontally stratified rocks. These are vertical. There's like a dike or something, some geological feature here. On the back side of it is a sand pocket, which is just like we found at the base of that cliff over there, which makes sense because I believe this whole unit right in here is a cliff face. And I think that layer of sand is why 20 some odd years of Google Earth photos show that this bank is never sloughed off or collapsed or done anything. Because I don't think the water passes through this at all. I think it just straight down. But anyways, we got a sand pocket here. I haven't dug it out because I'm trying to decide if it's worth shoveling out and adding to the sand pile. My experience tells me this will be the hardest section because it's not going to want to break nice. But I'm hoping that flat plane down there, I'm hoping I can score it. Nice wide scores here on either side to the wellhead, and then maybe I can break it, or even a score in the middle, right, and lift it. And then by lifting it, I'm hoping I can crack it out in larger chunks. It's a thought anyways, since it's all flat like this. Here's the actual wellhead. This is bedrock. I don't know what machines the rock mine had when they were out here, but they're a hell of a lot bigger than mine. I think they had an excavator with a big scratchy finger on it. But something has broken the rock on either side of the well casing, because that's natural bedrock there. On either side, I have broken out the grout layer and shoveled up all of the clay bentonite, which I'll have to reseal all of this. Yeah, I don't know why it's a little island here around this. What I did find, however, is the rock, this slab that we're sitting on, is hard as hell. See, there's where it drilled down through it. Absolutely hard as hell. And look at the little bubbles, inclusions in it. You know it's hard as hell because it's breaking on these big elliptical planes, like broken glass. More little occlusions in it. There's a crystal in that one. Oh, cool. Like broken glass. So that's not awesome. It means that my thought that somehow, oh, the top 2 feet will be loose. Yeah, no, Nah, this is the stuff that resisted Glacial Lake Missoula. So the only decision that has to be made here now, I'm going to get the saw out. I'm above freezing. I mean, if there's any chance of getting down in here and getting any of this done this year, well, now, carpe diem. But I'm going to run the saw through here. It's going to take quite a bit of time to get a couple of tanks of gas at least to get that scored. I don't have any of the agent right now, so that might mean a masked up trip to Missoula. It's kind of a hotbed right now, but I know we were going to take Shay to see Santa regardless, and just be careful. I wasn't able to get the test, the antibody test, because like I said, I'm really sure I had it, which would mean I could go see our family, because you know, we really couldn't bring it to them. But I wasn't able to get it, and it'd be too late now, I think, to get the results anyways. So at best, we can buy all this stuff and then hunker down for a week, and then just tiptoe up and see family without stopping anywhere. and I think we can get away with it. But like I said, 28 inches. Well, that was from the old ground level, but 28 inches would be a level pad through here. So it's not like I've got to go down there 4 feet. But I probably have to go down there too. I don't know, does rock conduct cold? Guess I should Google that. Right? So if I put my water line in a bedrock trench, does it have to be better insulated, or can it be less insulated than if I was just running in topsoil? I'm sure that info is out there somewhere. All right, oh, I got the hose started. So she's not running friendly, but it is running there, and big excavator just puking oil from underneath of it. That's why I don't want to get them out in here, because I've broken the seal on this now, and I'm not that flushed, there's a good word. I'm not that flushed about rock grindings and stuff from when I cut to get down in there, because that's the kind of stuff that's in a well anyways when they drill it. But I don't want either one of these monsters getting a whole bunch of hydraulic oil down in there. So, oh, maybe I can put on my grandpa's crab fishing rain gear so I don't get covered in schmoo this time. Grandpa'd get a kick out of that. What a mess. I forgot how much I enjoyed that. A little bit of a drunken trolley line right there. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see some stratification lines crossing it this way, but this stuff is primarily pre-cut it thing is actually something we never tried when it came to blasting. So with luck, this wasn't a complete and utter waste of my time. That's a 10-inch saw, so you know it's not cutting down super. 12-inch saw, so it's not cutting down super deep. My hope is it'll give some stress lines and I'll get nice concentrated thump lifting blasts that I can go through here, and I'd love it. You know, I'd love it if it left a relatively flat bottom, even if it means that I have to step inside and do this again. I've left myself enough room that if it blasts and comes away clean down there, I could conceivably do this same scenario 3 times, and by the time I did it 3 times, I'm very confident we'll be deep enough. Right? Because 28 inch grade level. So I don't need a lot. Unless rock transmits the cold better. Like I said, I don't have any compound right now, so I'm not gonna pre-drill the holes. Every time I pre-drilled the holes, they weeped water. I think they all are weeping water down in there someplace. So I'll just leave it. It'll only take me a couple of hours to walk my way up this and break it. with the drills and stuff. So especially if I bought myself a new drill instead of the ones I've been sharpening. Some new Makitas. It's only money, right?